Welcome back to Let's Build the Legend of Zelda roller coaster. My name's Attacking Toucans, and today we are finally going to finish this ride. The ride that we started over a year ago. It's taken a long time because while building this ride, we've been working on all the stuff around it as well. We've come a long way since the very first episode. Let's see what we have in store today. So in the previous episode, I asked you guys what you thought about me building the Bridge of Eldin as a decoration for the coaster. And with an overwhelming response of yeses, I have decided to make this the last major project for this coaster. So the things we need to do today to finish off the roller coaster is build this Bridge of Eldin, finish the whole entire underground dungeon section along with the boss fight. That's probably going to be the most work that we do today. Finish up some stuff in Kakariko Village, complete the Zelda Museum that we have at the exit, and then some odd-and-end things. So starting off with the Bridge of Eldin today, or as some of you guys might know it, that one Smash Bros level, I am building a bridge that is kind of basic, and then we're going to keep on adding details. Now, fortunately, the Bridge of Eldin is a pretty simplistic design, and I'm taking the center out of it, so it's kind of similar to the Smash Bros stage whenever the piece gets taken out by Midna. And that's also what happens in Twilight Princess. Whenever you go into the area where the castle is for the very first time, after you cross a bridge, a big chunk gets taken out of the center, so you can't go back to where you came from until you save the area that you're going to. Also, on a side note, I want to congratulate you watching for being one of the very first people to watch me record Planet Coaster in the best quality I have recorded it so far. The quality and frame rate of the game is better than any recording so far, and this is the very first video that I posted with my new recording method that I learned. Because originally I was recording all my footage through XSplit, which completely destroyed the frame rate and resolution. But now I'm recording with built-in capture software on my graphics card, and it made the quality so much better, and I am just so thankful for that. So overall with this coaster, I'm pretty happy with the amount of references that we were able to put in here. So we'll have the Bridge of Eldin, Kakariko Village, Hyrule Castle, the Master Sword Chamber. We have kind of replicas of the dungeons, so I would give like 2 points for dungeon references. We have the Koroks, we have the Sheikah Tower, we have the Lake Laboratory from Ocarina of Time. We have the Stone Taluses. We have the Lost Woods. We have Death Mountain in the background, even though it's not technically Death Mountain, but it represents Death Mountain. All the references in the Zelda Museum, and the musical references. So there's roughly around 15 really heavy Legend of Zelda references in this coaster. So now we're pretty much done with the Bridge of Eldin. I'm going to naturalize it a little bit by doing some terrain and foliage work. But we have our last major reference, and it's looking pretty good, especially with the sunset in the background. Looks just like the scene from Twilight Princess whenever you fight King Bulbin, and I could see Link on there, veering back with Epona. So the next thing we're working on is the interior of the temple/dungeons from the game. So right now, this dungeon section of the coaster is about halfway built, but today, we're going to be adding all the final details and really bringing this whole entire thing together. So realistically, I wanted this dungeon to kind of feel like you're in a big temple with a lot of complex doorways and platforms for you to walk on. And overall, I wanted more of like a Shadow Temple vibe, but I also gave a lot of references towards Forest Temple, Fire Temple, and Spirit Temple. I think the only really underrepresented temple here is Water Temple, but there's not much I could do there. And creating this dungeon really makes me just want to get like a game engine. I really don't know how game engines work, like Unity or something else. But I want to be able to take an engine where I can just create world environments, and I want to create my own overworld for a Zelda game now, or my own temple or something. Also, a part of me kind of wishes I could have made this Zelda ride even bigger, but I guess my biggest limitations when creating this ride is I was trying to make it seem like a ride that was part of this theme park altogether. I wanted it to all blend in, because there's a lot of rides on Planet Coaster where a whole entire theme park will be dedicated towards one ride just for a YouTube video or something. And so that's the difference between this Legend of Zelda coaster and those other coasters that other people make YouTube videos on, is I only have like a small portion of the park to work with, and I had to keep everything like really condensed. But if I ever make another Zelda coaster in the future, which I might, because I'm really becoming the Zelda guy now apparently, I probably will make a park where the whole entire park is dedicated to Zelda. So we can have like one really, really huge Zelda coaster that's like 15 minutes long. I think the Zelda coaster is like 3-ish minutes long or so, but if I had less limitations, I could do so much more, I feel. Now, I feel like one thing that I did not take advantage of that I kind of wish I did, but just kind of didn't have enough time, was the Theme Maker's Toolkit. I didn't make any custom-made 3D Zelda elements for the coaster, which I don't think is necessary because with the music and everything we've built, I think it definitely feels like a Zelda coaster. It would have been cool to have like a Link model or like models of some other Zelda enemies or something, but at this point in my life, I don't really know how to 3D model well enough to do that, and I don't think I should postpone the release of this roller coaster for another few months just because I want to learn how to 3D model to add some models to the coaster. I don't think it matters that much. I'm still really happy with everything that we've accomplished with this coaster, and it's already like 10 times better than all of our other coasters combined, so what else can we do, man? Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to allow you guys to ride the finished ride, but I'm also going to upload a separate video that shows off the whole entire castle and lets you ride the ride as well. And I would recommend you watch that one as well if you want to see the ride even better, because that video will have even better frame rate and stuff, because I'm going to kick all the guests out of the park. Because when I record this video, there's like 3,000 guests in the park, and I have all the other rides running, which definitely lowers the frame rate. So I'm going to kick all the guests out and turn all the rides off so the ride will run as smoothly as possible. And I'm just so thankful that I discovered this new recording method that I told you guys about at the beginning of the video, just in time to record the finale of this coaster in the first person point of view video. It could not have come at a better time, because I think this is the first coaster that I'm going to build that's going to have like a lot of people interested. The song that's playing right now, Mendes Lament, is one of my favorite Zelda compositions of all time. I love the sound of the song, it's amazing. And a funny joke related to it is Family Jewels, he makes video game song covers. He made a song cover video for Mendes Lament, and he had the words Mendes Lament on his YouTube thumbnail. But do you know how like the timestamp will cover up part of the thumbnail? Well, the timestamp of the video was covering the T, so it literally just made it look like his thumbnail said Mendes Lame. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm changing the part where you go from Kakariko Village to the outside section. I'm going to fill it with smoke, so it kind of feels like you're going to a completely new area, kind of like you're traveling or something. And maybe I'll even play the Song of Soaring as you're going through there. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. And I also had to build the gate and sign for Kakariko Village because it's one of the most iconic parts. And then I also made the Sheikah Tower outside a little bit taller due to a request. Somebody said it should be taller because they're a lot taller than Breath of the Wild, and I agreed, so I went ahead and made it taller, and I think it made it way more effective. You guys have no idea how happy I am to finish this coaster, especially with how long I've been working on it. I thought it would never get finished, but the fact that we finished it today is just... it makes me feel like so much lighter because I have one less series that I'm doing on my channel, and I can focus more on building other new rides in the theme park instead of on the same coaster. Having the Zelda coaster done and everything all the way up until episode 50 of Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park done at this point, it's just such a liberating feeling, and I'm excited for whatever we get to add on to the theme park next. So now I'm going through the coaster and attaching all the triggers to all the objects so they're activated on time. And those 4 torches I put towards the beginning of the dungeon, I had them as the 4 colors from the Forest Temple fires, and those get activated as you pass as well. So now the main thing we have to finish is this boss fight, which is pretty close to being done. I just needed to do some last minute touch-ups, and we need to have some different lighting because this white light looks really weird. So what I ended up doing is I ended up surrounding this boss with fire. I'm just going to make fire be his attack that he uses, and his whole entire chamber is just filled with like this blue and green fire. And then at the very end of the boss fight, we have one room that's filled with treasure chests and treasure and pots for Link to break to his heart's content. There had to be some kind of prize room afterwards, eh? You're not doing this for nothing. Link works hard, but it doesn't work for free. So if you can remember, the way this boss fight works is you circle around the room and you push these 3 flaming boulders down a hill, and then as you get up to the boss, the 3 flaming boulders hit him all at the same time and he dies. I really hope people understand that when they ride the ride. It's kind of hard to notice that if you're not paying attention, but at the same time, I didn't fully understand another way to kill a boss. It's kind of hard to do it when you're in a roller coaster. So next we're finishing up the Zelda Museum, just hanging up a bunch of Zelda pictures that represent a bunch of different Zelda games. It's a nice little finishing touch when you exit the ride, and there's a reference to almost every single Zelda game here. And the very last thing we have to do is I'm adding these triggers, so whenever you ride the ride, it sets the time to the appropriate time of day, because the ride needs to be at nighttime whenever you start it, but then it switches to daytime right before you go outside to the Breath of the Wild section. And that is all we have. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to the finished ride video. But before that comes out, since you've watched the whole thing, here, have a sneak peek of what's to come.